Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Danny Crutchfield, Vice President of Shaw Flooring Network at Shaw Industries. Danny, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Kemp. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. I know you're making some changes to Shaw's Aligned Dealer program. We'll get to that in just a minute. First, I want to talk a little bit about you, your past, your background. Most recently at Shaw, for a while, you've been running their whole education and training program, right?
That's correct, for quite some time.
This role you're stepping into, it sounds like Shaw has elevated this position because, as I just said, you're vice president, and you follow a line of people. I know Aaron John had the role, Scott Humphrey had the role, and Blaine Haywood, and that's just in the last 10 years. And it's a critical role for Shaw, isn't it?
It is a critical role. I think this group is certainly a very important group of customers. I'm excited and proud of the fact that Shaw has rededicated some resources and a lot of energy and innovation around becoming a better partner for this group.
And one more little side piece on you. I was snooping around before we did the interview and saw where you had retired from the Dalton Board of Education. So you're one of those kind of people who likes to get involved in the community, right?
I do like to be involved in the community. I've been a part of Shaw for about 32 years, and I've lived in Dalton for most of my life. When I started with Shaw, I did move away and was a salesperson for a number of years before moving back here to really help start our sales training program, and that involved in a lot of other things. But I was involved with the local Board of Education. I have a real passion for public education and community service. Shaw certainly is very supportive of that. I enjoyed that role. I've learned on the school board business it's hard to make everybody happy. I was chairman of the school board for about 3 years. I think we did a lot of great work, hopefully made some progress for our community.
Let's talk about this new role. Why is it a vice president level now?
As we start to really evolve and grow and drive these three new consumer brands into the marketplace, we recognize that specialty retailer is a key component of that strategy. And the Shaw Flooring Network has a great legacy of a partnership between a supplier and a retailer. But over the last few years, as our strategy has shifted and our resources have shifted, a little bit of that focus got away from the Shaw Flooring Network specifically. And again, the company, our leadership team, decided to really recommit ourselves to becoming a great partner for this specialty retailer, our members of the Shaw Flooring Network. And again, it was really traditionally kind of a marketing role, and today it is more of a sales role with a marketing influence, and so we're excited about what the future might hold for this group.
All right. Usually programs like this has some kind of reciprocity. Talk about the commitments that each of you give.
We've spent a lot of time. My first few months in this role, I have spent a lot of time listening to our retailers and going out and seeing some and just asking them a lot of questions. Kind of the most obvious one, why are you a part of the network? You know, what's working, what's not working? And really, what can I do and what can we do back here in Dalton to make it a more meaningful partnership? That's happened. We started to craft a vision, if you will, for where we think this network can go and should go. I'm excited that we've been able to bring on some additional team members that are really focused on this network. One of the things that I said pretty much from the very start was that I think this is an awesome opportunity, not just within Shaw, but within our industry, to really get some excitement and to put some teeth back into this supplier and retailer relationship and really being able to connect together to the consumer. We know that our consumer continues to evolve and change. That change, to really for us to get there together, does require a commitment. Along with our internal team, we've shared our strategy and our vision for where we would like to go with our dealer council. And one of the things that is very clear as a part of this group is we want this to be a dealer-driven network, and we want our internal team to work really hard to serve the retailer every day. And in doing that, this whole idea of being committed to the network and being committed to each other really did rise up, and so it kind of birthed what we call right now the four-way commitment.
That sounds like a Rotarian thing. Tell me more.
Maybe it does, but we're really excited about it. This commitment really does talk about, when we talk about it, you're going to hear that really the mantra that we come to work with every day is what we call our best for our best, and it really is about doing our best work, providing our best solutions, our best ideas, our best products to our best group of customers, which we consider this Shaw Flooring Network to be. And so that first commitment is about Shaw being committed to giving our SFN retailers our best. That's really the first part of the commitment, is us being committed to them. The second part of that is we also want our Shaw Flooring Network retailers committed to us and committed to Shaw, committed ultimately to giving us their best. But we recognize that we have to earn their best. Can't just go out and demand it. We've got to do the right things as a partner should do for them to want to give their best commitment and their best business, if you will, again, to their best partner. And again, we feel like very strongly that we know we have to go out and earn that. The third part of that commitment is we want our retailers to be committed to the consumer. As you know and the industry knows, we've done a lot of research really studying the consumer as they continue to change and evolve. We really do believe that this network of customers gives us our best chance to provide that consumer the experience that they really want when it comes to buying flooring. And so we're excited about that, but our retail partners have to be committed to providing that consumer experience. So that third commitment is being committed to the consumer. And then the fourth commitment, and we think is really one of the more powerful ones, and we've seen it over the years, but this is this whole idea of being committed to the network. And what I mean by that is each retailer being committed, if you will, to the group. We say the power of the network is the network, and that's exactly what it's about. Are you willing to share some of your ideas and best practices with those that are part of the network so they too can continue to learn, evolve, grow, and become better ultimately for the consumer and really for their businesses, for the folks that work there, for their families they support, and the things that follow from that.
Mm-hmm. You know, with these changes, do you think there's going to end up being more members, or are you trying to make sure that you've only got the best? Which direction you headed there?
You know, Kemp, that's a great question, and it's one that I really can't answer today. The feeling is that we might have less members, but part of us, the more we start talking about it, and particularly when we get our dealer council involved and we get excited about what we're going to be able to do and some of the solutions and the products and the programs and the things that we're going to be able to do together, we actually believe we're going to create a program that people are going to want to be a part of. Initially, we felt like we would probably have fewer members, but as we move, and again, the requirements, both from a Shaw standpoint, but ultimately from a retailing standpoint, are going to be greater. We really do believe that people tend to want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Mm-hmm. We think we're going to create something that people want to be a part of. So that's a great way, I guess, of not answering your question. But we're not sure whether it's going to go up or down. I think the most important thing is, just like with our own internal team, we wanted to have the right people with the right focus, and that focus is really people that have a true passion for our retailers on our core team. And so far, I know we've achieved that. But we also want retailers that really do have a passion for this commitment and to getting better for our consumer. We want to have the right dealers a part of our team as well.
Now, every other year you do a convention, so coming into 19, you have a convention, right?
We do have a convention come up in 19, and I've been to every convention that Shaw's done since our first one back in Florida many years ago. Not to over-exaggerate or make too big of a deal about it, but I do believe this is going to be the most significant convention that we've ever had.
Okay. All right, Danny. Well, we're about to run out of time. I just wanted to let our listeners know what was going on with Shaw and their Aligned Dealer Program. Again, been talking to Danny Crutchfield, the Vice President of Shaw's Flooring Network. And you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.